let's get
So
it.
here we go again.
Nah, here we go, y'all. Listen, we back. Um, not in the backyard, not in the basement. But we in the office. We in our offices, I should
We
say.
still here. We still
Uh,
here.
still
We
holding it
we in
down.
the flesh.
Yeah, wrapping up week one of training camp. Obviously we're still counting down to week one of the regular season, but no better feeling outside of week one of preseason and of course week one of regular season, but week one of training camp. Being able to wrap that up. I know you got a chance to get down to St. John Fisher. We'll talk about how that worked out. I got a chance to go down there last Sunday. And whether we start off by talking about how it was physically being there or what we've been keeping an eye on, cause shit, we gonna jump into shit right away anyway. But Z, how you feeling? We're a week into Bill's training camp. And I will go over our assessments, of course. But I mean, one weekend, what got you excited?
Um, First off, I'm happy that there's no major injuries because after the first couple of days of training camp around the league, man, I'm like, yo, wrap everybody up in bubble wrap and keep it moving. But yeah, that injury bug bit early for some players, man.
It
Hey,
did.
Jalen Ramsey out till December. Man, my heart goes out to Tim Patrick, bro. Ruptured his Achilles a year after tearing his ACL in training camp. Like, that's 2.5 years is down the drain. Like, my man may never recover from this.
Right.
But he down bad. Joe Burrow with the calf strain. So, again, I'm just happy to get out of this first week without any major injuries. So, I mean, that's first and foremost for me. But secondly, man, it's just nice just to see these boys back at it. Seeing the energy in the room, seeing these boys on the field, seeing these boys run around, make some plays, just
Right.
get the energy in the building going. So like just knowing that we are, just a mere weeks away now from this thing really taking place. Like the energy is starting to build, anticipation starting to go through the roof.
Right.
Anytime you see 17 on the field, you can't
17.
help but get excited.
Big 1-7.
Yeah, so yeah, that it's full on starting to get real antsy and giddy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And I'm with you, man. Is just obviously, thankfully, no major injuries is the big thing, right? We talked last week about not having Hines, of course, due to the freak accident, and we talked about around the league. We know about Jalen Ramsey, we know about Joe Burrow, and like you said, the guys that you mentioned as well. Like anything can happen. Like you can literally, we know how the non-contact stuff go. You
right,
go
they don't
from
take much of anything.
yeah, you go from everything going well to your quarterback is out 6 to 8 weeks, or everything going well and your corner needs surgery. So, luckily for the Bills, knock on all types of wood. Um, luckily so far good, but yeah, I'll say personally, and like I said, I'll get into my trip down to Rochester in a minute, but personally, like you said, I'm just glad to see the guys, the competitive juices, the fire from our guys like Diggs and seeing our rookie, right? We'll get into some of the favorite headlines so far. We're seeing our rookies getting important snaps and making plays, right? Seeing some of the competition take place at some key positions that we discussed last week, the middle linebacker rotation, the cornerback two rotation, the guard rotation, and just seeing some of the new faces, right? You know what I mean? Getting a chance to see the ball in the hands of Deontay Hardy, Damian Harris, seeing guys like Puna Ford make an impact on defense, even though it's just practice, but taking a pick and running it back all the way to the end zone. It's fun.
Big
Um,
man touchdown.
yeah, big man touchdown. You know what I mean? We love stuff like that. So I think honestly the energy is high right now from fans to the players. And I'll speak on behalf of most fans, and I love the fact that they are hyping up other teams, right? We're getting a lot of Jets talk, a lot of Broncos talk, a lot of talk about the Dolphins, of course. And we kind of We a little slept on, which is weird, right? I mean, maybe 3, 4 years ago, it would have been the normal for us to be slept on, but our moves is kind of being under the radar. Obviously, Damar Hamlin is still a big story, so shout out to him. Touching the field, putting the pads on, even had an interception for a return.
Right, right.
So it's been some nice highlights to go over, but I guess you can kind of touch on what your experience was like going to St. John, even though it was a rather not so nice experience. But how'd
Yeah,
that work
we're
out for
gonna we're gonna call it short lived.
you? Okay.
So I had tickets to get out there day one. That first Wednesday practice, man, they gave me the run around. So we ended up at the one high school to park. They like, yo, lot's full. Go over to the other high school. So that's like 10, 15 minutes away. We get there. Hey, yo, lot's full. Go over to this middle school. That's the overflow lot. I'm like, all right. Get to there. Ain't no one there. Some attendants show up a couple minutes later, like, yo, ain't no buses going here.
Oh my
You gotta
God.
go. You gotta go back over to Minden High School and either find a spot or go into that other lot. So we finally make our way back over there. Line, I mean, long as ever. I had to wait for like probably 5, 6 buses to come through before we got a chance. So needless to say, in this whole time period, like an hour and some change passed. Next thing you know, by the time we actually hit St. John Fisher, it's 11:05. Practice over at 11:15. So I think I saw about 12 snaps.
Damn, man.
I saw a couple red zone snaps, and then I saw the final 2 minute drill portion. So
Okay.
like I did not get much at all. So I
So
was a little tight.
so what's your tip for people that's trying to get there and trying to find a parking spot? Because I know what I'm gonna say, but like what time did you arrive there and would you feel like if you did it
Get there,
again?
get there early as hell.
Okay.
Really, what you should do though, park somewhere in the town of Pittsburgh and just take an Uber over. That's what I should have did. Because I mean, you can take a quick 5 minute Uber ride,
Or
avoid the buses and the shuttle altogether, and call it a day.
or you can do what me and my father did. I went with me, my father, and my son, because we'll make it just quick and harmless. We just parked right across from the joint. My dad paid the 20, and that was it. We parked right
Yeah,
over there. You know what I mean? The folk, but I know by the time you probably got there, the folks probably had
yeah,
no
them
more
joints.
room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
But
was a wrap.
mind you, though, we pulled up at like 8:50, like 8:45, like an hour before practice.
Right.
Uh, we left Buffalo probably around 7, trying to think 7:20, 7:25. Um, just because you know what I mean, for
You
me,
already know what it is.
yeah, I already know what it is, man. I know I like to get in my spot. I like to feel comfortable. I don't like having to say excuse me 100 times and all of that. I don't like long lines.
Stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, I don't like being bothered too much. So we left extremely early. Obviously, like I said, I had my son with me. If those who follow us on Instagram, I mean, I think it was on Twitter. Those who follow us on Twitter, I did post the pictures of me, my son, and my father going. And obviously we had some other people down there too. My father-in-law was down there with his people. And I saw some other people who I knew there too. So shout out to those who I saw. But yeah, we got down there extra early. So if that's your plan, practice is still going on for at least another week and a half. Try to get there as early as you want to. I mean, as early as you can, I should say. And if there
Yeah,
is,
don't end up like me.
yeah,
Get
man, don't
down
don't don't
bad.
rely on don't rely on the shuttles and
That's a long drive to see 15 minutes of practice.
yeah, nah, man. It because it's hectic. Because even when I'll just say it like this. Even when we got there, though, it was so crazy because it was packed. It was packed out. Like by the time we sat in our seat, we was good and settled in. But like soon as it got close, so as soon as it got close, like 9:20, 9:25,
Like
9:30,
filled in quick.
man, filled in so quick. I mean, wrapped around the gate. And I'm pretty sure those who live close to the area have gotten a chance to possibly already get out there. Crazy though. But hey, this is this is a part of Bills Mafia. This is a part of this town.
100%.
We live and breathe football here. So like I'm not surprised. It
Yeah, the
just
energy there was crazy though. Like even that couple of minutes I was there, like I felt the vibes. The energy was great. Crowd was great. So like I mean, even though it was short lived, like I said, man, it was still a great few minutes, man, just to see. see the practice in action, see the
Right,
fans again. Because again, it's been a few years. We had a couple COVID years, so
right.
training camp ain't really been full fledged at all. So like even just getting back in the building and feeling the energy and seeing the crowd, and you love to see the younger generation, the kids out there, interacting for the first time, like because it reminds you of you being a kid and your first
Facts.
time seeing these players in real life. So like it's just dope,
Yeah,
being in the building, being in
and
the
it's a little
environment.
di and the funny thing is, it's still even different from when me and you was kids because we grew up in the era where we just had missed the Super Bowl era. So like
Right.
for us that grew up in that were kids in the 90s, we literally had nothing but, Doug Flutie, Drew Bledsoe and them boys to root for. You know what I mean? Shout out to Eric Modes and Peerless Price and them boys. But
But
like,
the teams is trash.
but them teams was mid at best. Like we had the 9-7, 8-8 run going with Drew
Yeah, 7 and
Bledsoe.
9 every year, which is
Yeah,
trash.
yeah, Drew Bledsoe and the boys gave us a little bit of hope, you know what I mean, when I was like 13 or whatever, but 14. But like
3.
these kids, these kids really growing up with superstars on the team.
These
Like,
boys lucky. They don't even
like,
know how
like
good they
they
got
don't
it,
even know
man.
how good they got it. Like they got rock stars on the team. And I think they do know because it's like you can tell by how excited they are. But like I think they're gonna look at this, when Allen retires, whenever that may be, 15, 20 years from now, they're gonna be telling their
Hopefully.
kids, they're gonna be like, listen, back when I was like 8, 9, we had this motherfucker named Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Micah Hyde. And that's why I'm really embracing this whole thing because it's just like now that I'm an adult, you know what I mean? We work hard so we get a chance to go to the games, go to the practices, and really analyze and discuss this team. We've been doing this now, me and you've been doing this now for a year and a half almost. So it's like I enjoy it because it's just like this could all be short lived. Like we could
Right.
fast forward 5, 6 years from now, and things could be different. We don't know just because of the business of football, et cetera, et cetera. But forget all that. I'll just since you obviously said you didn't get a chance to really sit down and enjoy practice, I'll give my quick 2 minutes on what we saw when we went on Sunday, and then we'll really outline a couple of our favorites from this first week. But I'll just say from my side of things, Sunday it was definitely evident that Gabe Davis is in real form. He if you've heard about it already, and I'm sure you have, Z, the man looks good. The man is moving well. He's catching the ball well. He seems extremely focused. Same can be said for Diggs. Diggs look good out there. He looks smooth out there. He looked unguardable, really. The vibe between him and Allen looks good. The defense, right? How does it look under McDermott? They still getting after it. Still a lot of pressure. They getting their hands on the ball. I think the day I was there, Poyer made a play and ran it back. Probably was tagged by Diggs or whatever, and they had some fun chirping back and forth. But Poyer made a play on the ball. The day I was there was the day Puna made a play on the ball and ran it back. The D line looks very active. The corner wide receiver one-on-one battles were fun to watch. I know Diggs was making it look easy out there per usual. The tight end group, they look fine, especially the top two when we talk about Knox and Kincaid. Josh looks good, of course. And yeah, overall, I'm just looked at both sides of the ball and I'm just like, I walked away like, yeah, I'm pleased. Like you go to some camp practices, you're like, man, damn, that one side of the ball was dominant. The other side look a little But I
Right.
walked away from that practice and I'm like, all right, both of y'all got some plays here and there, and looking like two top 5 units just going
On that.
at it in practice.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like you get your fair share of plays, we're gonna get ours. I think they ended the practice where I was at with a touchdown to Gabe Davis, who ended up wide open. I love to see stuff like that because I mean, ooh, y'all scheming shit. Y'all
Right.
scheming shit open, right? So Gabe Davis caught a wide open touchdown to end practice. And my favorite play, I think one of my favorite plays of the day on Sunday was the wheel route, James Cook over Micah Hyde, which I thought it was a linebacker for the life of me. I'm like, oh, that had to have been Balin Spector, had to have been whoever. And I come to find out, I get the chance to look at it on my phone when I get home. I'm like, oh, that was Micah Hyde. And I'm like, Allen dropped that joint in the bucket too. I said, ooh. But
Right over the
right in the
shoulder.
right in the bucket, man. And we'll talk about Cook in a minute, but love to see it, right? Your RB1 out the backfield, beating safeties, beating linebackers, making swift cuts on the runs. So I'm excited about his potential. So if you had to name one player, because we'll get into at least a couple before we sign off today. If you had to name one player that definitely caught your attention this week on a training camp, who would you say?
Uh, I mean, it's tough to narrow down to one.
Right. That's
So
why I said we're gonna have to touch
yeah,
on.
I'm gonna do two, and one is a little bit of a cop out. One is Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
It's just the intensity that he's bringing. Like again, he's always a energetic, hyped, focused, ready to go leader. Like so that's normal. But like I feel like so far he's just been taking everything to the next level. Every single rep, every time he's on the field, it's energy, it's passion. I'm in your face. You can't
Right.
stop me. You can't guard me. Like, and especially after all the off season of what it was, speculation, unspoken stuff, yada yada yada. Putting all that to rest, all at the bed. I'm gonna come out here. Y'all gonna remember who I am. Y'all gonna see this work. Y'all gonna get this work. Every single rep, every single play. You can't guard me. So like I just love that energy that he's bringing, and it's contagious. The battle that him and Trey are having, him and Elam been going at it these last few days hard. So just seeing Diggs out there really being Diggs in his bag is just that's you couldn't
Oh,
ask for anything better than that.
exactly.
That's exactly what I don't see. And the second one is again it was a bit of a cop out, but that boy Kincaid is smooth. Like his like it's almost like bro was out there gliding. Like it's everything is just so smooth and effortless looking. The way he is in and out of his breaks, the way he decelerates when it's time to cut, and then 1, 2 strides back up to full speed, catches everything that comes his way, over the middle, up the seam, short, long. He doing screens, so like this everything he's doing so far, it just makes it look easy. And I'm like, yo, bro, is the energy y'all coming with? Y'all really gonna be putting the ball in his hand this much? And the fact that they're using him, so again, granted, still training camp practice, so not a
No
full
training
season or
camp.
anything like that.
Facts.
So everything is with a grain of salt. But the frequency that he's out there, the way that they're using him in so many different formations. And I want to mention this, like, yo, even in that short 15 minutes I was there, the amount of motion and pre-play movement that they're doing, like that's something I feel that was missing from this offense big time last year. So there's just so much more motion going on, so much more pre-snap movement that's taking place.
Right.
And it's not just one player, multiple players moving at the same time, getting set, completely changing formations. Like, yo, like, okay, this is what I want to see. I'm like, okay, Dorsey, I
Yeah.
see you. I see you settling in a little bit in your
I
role and
mean,
kind of starting to be the mastermind of your offense. So
right.
just seeing that, but really just seeing Kincaid in it, and I'm like, all right, if y'all can really figure out how to utilize this weapon consistently, this adds a completely different dimension because he's a completely different skill set than Knox, and it's not a Knox replacement. It's really
Right.
a supplement to this offense
It's,
and to what is out there. So watching Kincaid do his thing has been great.
and it's a nice, I feel like just to feed off that, it's a nice compliment to Knox's game because we know Knox has a pretty good blocker. I'll just put it like
Yeah,
that.
he's a well-rounded
Pretty
tight
good
end.
blocker, well-rounded, physical, at the point of attack. So like if you just try to think you're gonna wrap up Knox,
The nigga, he
we all know
crazy
he
at the
can
point of
run you
attack.
over. Right.
Yeah, no, that boy
He can
trying to
make the
run
athletic
anybody over.
catches. So like you said, they almost are like two tight ends, but like not completely different styles, but they give you a little bit something different with each of them. Knox can
Mhm.
give you a wide range to catch from. Like I said, he can get you the physical yards to get the first down, or he can get you the physical catch to score a touchdown. I think Kincaid is just going to be great because he just gives you soft hands, great route running ability for his size, and like you mentioned, his fluidity. It's kind of it's similar to James Cook. You know, we look at James Cook and how he moves around in the field. That's kind of how I look at Kincaid. Like they just have a glide with
Yeah.
each step. And obviously Kincaid is a lot bigger than Cook, but talking about just how he moves on the field, yeah, Kincaid is gonna make it easy just to have, all right, man, it's 2nd and 7. Here's a quick pass to Kincaid down the middle of the field to get us 15 yards, or here's a quick pass to get us 10 here, or oh, we in the red zone. They got a lot of tension on Diggs and Knox. Boom, I'm gonna just throw it over the middle, high pointed to Kincaid in the back of the end zone, touchdown. So it's like, I think, you know, we talked about Dorsey, right? And what we wanted to see. I think Dorsey is now getting to the point where he's like, all right, how can I use everybody to their strengths? How can I disguise certain looks to maybe get the ball into this person's hand over here, or at least give Josh multiple options? Because that's what it's all about in this league. It's like you gotta have the type of offense where teams just can't say, well, all right, look out for the quick slant to Gabe
Yeah.
Davis. This is
And I
all
feel like that's what happened last year. We just fell into a consistency where defense are like, listen, they doing either X, Y, or Z.
right, right. When
And that's it.
they get beat, yep, when they get past the 30-yard line, this is the only 3 different ways that they gonna go. And some of that might have been the limitations with the
It's gonna
injuries,
be
right?
Diggs, or an Allen run.
Or
Like,
or a quick or one of those quick, you know, post pattern slants to Davis, which they started. Obviously, it was golden at first, but when it becomes
sitting
predictable,
on them things.
yeah, when it becomes predictable, like in the Minnesota game, when it comes predictable with the game on the line that you're going to run the same pattern that you did against Kansas City, teams going to sit on that. And you got veteran corners and safeties who going to look at your tendencies and they're going to be like, "Uh-oh, it's coming." But
Mm-hmm.
this year, I think Dorsey is showing early signs. Like I said, it's just camp, and even in preseason, we can't read too much in the preseason. But I've seen enough in the small samples from practice to see Hardy get wide open, and it's like, oh, we actually getting the ball to guys wide open,
Hey,
like they
that boy got some juice.
right. So I saw a couple plays where boom, 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 a couple motions, and then Allen is swinging it over here. Hardy catching it. He got 10 yards in front of him. He got 15 yards in front of him.
That
And
boy, he got some hops too. I said, damn, dog.
that
Like he
dude,
climbed ladder on a couple catches. I'm like,
I'm,
bro, you my height.
I'm gonna tell
What you
you
already
like
doing?
this. Yeah, right. Because you know, I told you I see him in person at my store. Small dude, but I look at it like this: ain't nobody that size making it to the NFL if they can't play
Without being
football.
crazy athletic.
Right. So he got something with him. You know,
Right.
I heard him talk on a post practice joint, and he was just talking about how he's always been overlooked. He always had a point to prove. You know what I mean? Like coming from a Division II college, right? Being undrafted, trying to make that Saints roster. Like it wasn't like he was handed no roster spot. Nah, he was undrafted and was recognized as a Pro Bowl All Pro returner
Right.
as an undrafted rookie. Like we got to remember
Which is
that.
crazy.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen. You know what I
Making
mean?
a team is an accomplishment as an undrafted
Exactly,
player, let
man.
alone get to that type of level.
Right. Like we sat here and crowned undrafted receiver Robert Foster as all world. And Robert Foster might have only had a total of 21 catches. So imagine being in his spot with Jameis Winston or Drew Brees, whoever was the quarterback when he was there. But like imagine being in his spot where it's like, damn, I gotta fight against this dude, this dude, this dude, and find a way to make an impact. And he did. You know, it was special teams, but what's the number one goal when you get in the league is like find a way to
Right.
get on that damn field. Find a way for them to be like, all right, you got a jersey on game day. So I'm definitely looking forward to what Hardy has to bring. I love the fact that I'm already seeing him in the mix on offense. You know, whether it's been like I said, the trick plays or whether it's just been the return game. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I know I gave you the floor for those 2 people that you mentioned, Kincaid and Diggs. I'll go receiver too, and you already talked about Diggs, so I'll go to Davis. I already mentioned him a few minutes ago, but yeah, Davis, I'll say this, man. If he stays healthy, man, mainly in the leg area, you know what I mean? If it's a bicep injury, shoulder injury, whatever, I feel like he'll play through it just fine. If he can keep his ankles, legs, and all that together, the man looks ready to have a massive year. And that's why I was talking to somebody a few days ago, and I said that's why I'm on the extend Gabe Davis train before week 1, because let me tell you something. If they
He gonna
mess
play himself
around,
into the money.
right? If they mess around and wait, not saying that they wouldn't want to pay him, they're gonna end up paying that dude 20 or more. And it's like this is your best chance to get him at 13 to 15 range, 12 to 15 range.
Which I
Um,
still don't even think is gonna happen that low.
right. And I don't either, but it's just like if I'm the Bills and we talking to his agent, all right, this is what you shown us. This is your production. We not going off of what you're gonna do 4 years from now or what you're gonna do this year. This is your production so far. This is kind of where we're at. You want to be a lifelong Bill. This is what we're willing to do. And they can make it nice, a couple years from now, 3 years from now, throw some extra money on there. One of those years might have 21. You know what I mean? Something spicy on the end of the contract. But I think you got to do it now because the way I'm starting to get the vibe from him, from even hearing him in interviews and things like that, is that he ready. He ready to take that leap. And some of us were obviously ready for him to do it last year because we looked at the Kansas City game. It was like, oh yeah, it's time. Gabe Davis season. But we got to remember these guys is human. They deal with injuries. And just because they can strap up and put on a helmet and catch a 30-yard pass don't mean they're gonna be able to run the full route tree. Don't mean
Consistently.
you know what I mean? Don't mean that they're gonna be able to do everything that they want to do on the field. And I think unfortunately he wasn't able to play at the level he wanted to last year.
Right.
Like he was able to get by and still play good ball. Like he still had a good season as a number 2 wide receiver in the league. Statistically, he still had a top 10 year for a second for a number 2 option. It wasn't horrible. It was just, to be honest, niggas wanted 75 and like 1100. Niggas wanted 8 to 11 touchdowns. It just didn't happen. But this year, the way it's looking, the way he practicing,
I agree with you. He's looking different. Like his routes are looking way more sharp, way crisp. He's actually getting separation on short and intermediate routes. Like he been putting in the work and it's showing.
man, he
Again, it's
looks
still
good too. You
early.
can even look at his body and tell. Like no
Yeah.
funny shit. Like I was looking at some video. I think Kay Adams was here, and she was showing Diggs and Davis off on the sideline. You could just look at his like lower body, like he been putting in that work. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
yeah, that looked like
Okay.
a dude I don't really want to line up against if I don't have to.
Yeah. I see you.
Yeah, so I'll start there. This next one is tough because I just stay offense. Much love to the defense, but James Cook. I'll
Mhm.
say James Cook because I'll feed off of the play of the day I saw Sunday. He just he just looks like he's ready,
He looks
right?
explosive, man.
Yeah, man. He looked like he ready to take that role too. Because I remember last year, it could have been a confidence thing or whatever. Like at moments, he looked a little hesitant, or at moments he maybe didn't look as sure about what he wanted to do until he would get like 4 or 5 carries. Then you could see him in a groove. Right now, it looks like every time he touches the ball in practice, it looks like he already know where he going with it. He hitting
Right.
that hole, he making that cut, and like he now just using his natural instincts, which
It's just one cut and go. Like he's
yeah,
just running with no hesitation. No, he looks like he's playing without thinking,
right, right,
which is what a lot of players say they end up doing that first year, even first
yeah,
2 years.
right.
There's so much stuff going on in the brain, so you're thinking, you're not just reacting. You
Facts.
thinking, but now it's looking like ball in my hand, I'm gone. One cut,
Right,
I'm gone.
right.
And with the speed that he possesses, that's a dangerous weapon.
And that's why it's so funny. And I'll get your point on this. Like that's why it's so funny when I listen to NFL Network. They seem to be they like for them to be NFL Network and not ESPN. Like we know ESPN cover 12 different sports. Your NFL Network, and you guys have been missing all summer. Like I don't know what it is with NFL Network this summer, but like the topics that they choose to talk about when it comes to the Bills, it just seemed like they've been off. First it was should they sign Dalvin Cook when they were down here, and they asked like 3 different reporters, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, that they should definitely." I'm like,
Wow.
y'all out of touch? Okay. And then the guy Adam Rank was on there yesterday, and we'll talk about this later with the predictions of 9-8 and us losing to Miami twice. I'm like, Adam Rank, 9-8. Okay. But nah, with the whole Dalvin Cook thing, I'm just like, y'all not pay attention. So it's funny because somebody was there and they asked one of the players. I think somebody asked Von Miller today or yesterday, and it was like, Von Miller, what would you, we know da da da. What do you think about James playing with his brother? And like it's like that's the juicy thing they want to go to is like him teaming up with his brother, and Von Miller shot that down right away. It was like, nah, man, we got James. We got James Cook. James looking
Right.
good. He's doing good. Blah blah blah. And I think somebody asked that to Diggs or Allen the other day, and they like, nah, Jimbo balling. Jimbo doing this, Jimbo that. And I'm like, y'all must not really got good sources when it comes to following the Bills, because any person inside John Fisher, inside One Bills Drive, going to tell you, nah, we got our running backs. James.
It's been like that for years now. Every first round mock got the Bills taking a running back in the first round and yada yada yada. It's like, haven't y'all realized, first of all, how much they pass the ball? They're not looking for
Right.
certain styles of running back. So
Right.
again, second round pick last year, they want him to be that lead back role. They signed Damian Harris. They signed Latavius Murray.
Right.
They're not signing Dalvin Cook. Like, what
Right.
to play what role? Dalvin Cook not playing special teams. Like, what
Right.
you bringing him on for, to get
Yeah.
2 carries a game?
And that's why I said people must be out of touch, because it's like you're looking at Damian Harris. Are you saying Dalvin Cook would be the person to put Damian Harris on a chop block? Like, you know what I mean? I don't get what you're saying. Like the Bills have essentially their running back who they can use in the backfield, out the backfield, speed, home run, whatever you want to call them. They got that in Cook. They got their bruiser / whatever you want to call him in Damian Harris. And then you got your veteran who can go in between the tackles and catch the ball, Latavius Murray. So where are you finding another running back in? Like I said, Nyheim Hines would have been fine because Hines does special teams too.
Yeah, but and it's weird to me, like with the whole Jonathan Taylor situation going on in Indy, I saw odds of of Jonathan Taylor's next team, and like the second or third highest odds are the Bills. I'm like, in what world is
they
that?
don't really follow us, man. They fake know about the Bills.
It's the strangest thing. Like, first of all, where are we getting 15 million from to pay Jonathan Taylor? But second of all, no, like that's not. This
Right.
is not happening. Like that doesn't make sense.
We
Like
already listen. The fact is we're a passing offense, right? And we already paying a receiver over 20 mil. And we got another receiver that we about to pay close to 20 mil. And we got a quarterback who is making over 40 plus. There's
and Dawson Knox making good money.
Right. And Dawson Knox making good money. There's no room for a running back on his team to make over 12, 13 mil. Like,
the boys ain't paying nobody more than 3 mil. Like this.
Right. It's just not. Listen, think about how much Damian Harris signed for. What he signed for?
Your whole running back room is worth like 6.
Right. You know what I mean? And the Bills did it the right way. You got one on the rookie deal. You got one basically signing a veteran minimum, and you got one that's damn near getting paid like 900,000.
Right. You're getting $2 million with some incentives, with like $1.25 million against the cap.
Like literally, Bills have the perfect running room. Like, knock on wood, all of them guys stay healthy, and I'm sure that's why they got to do Evans, because he's a great, a practice squad candidate guy who can fill in for a game or two if need be, if there is an injury. But yeah, like the Bills have the ideal running back room in today's NFL, like especially for a passing offense. You got your young back who's elusive. You got your red zone goal line back and Damian Harris, who has a proven track record of getting in the end zone. And then you got your proven veteran who has shown he can get in the end zone.
Murray can do everything. He still has the speed. He has the power. He has the wiggle. Like,
that's why I said Bills really have, like, it's funny when people mention like top running back rooms. Not to say I've seen a list recently, but that the Bills aren't high on that list. Like, Bills should legit have one of the top 10 running back rooms in the NFL.
It's only because Cook is unproven.
I know, and that's why I love bringing up Cook in this topic, is because the way Cook looks, since the people seem to be asleep, he gonna take some people by storm. But they gonna be like, little bro taking that kind of leap,
right?
Yeah, he like that, dog. If it wasn't for him only having 80-something carries, he would have led the league in yards per carry.
Yeah, I think 11. 11 carries shorter is being eligible for
Yeah.
that.
Dog was
What?
getting damn near 6 yards a pop, bro.
Yeah, well over five a carry. So
Like, come on,
those are
man.
great numbers.
But whatever. It is what, hey, I keep saying,
Yeah, ain't nobody tripping over that.
sleep on the boys, man. Hey, whatever y'all want to think. Let's switch to the defense though. Um, how you feeling about what you've seen on that side? You can talk about what you've seen from the battle standpoint or just the D line, which has obviously been um in the spotlight as well. So how you feeling about the defense so far? And
I feel like there's a lot of different directions I can take the conversation in, but I think I just want to kind of focus on the battles um right now. Because I mean, again, it's still early and we've only had it two, padded practices so far, which is where you can really kind of start to see those battles really start to take form. Because again, anybody can look good in a t-shirt and shorts. Let's see what it look like when the pads come on.
hey
But
yo, no, I'm playing.
uh
Go ahead.
nah, we can't have that one. Can't have that one. But just seeing this rotation at linebacker at the mic, like literally everybody, that joint is wide open.
Yeah,
Like I think that's the position where it's completely wide open. I don't even think there's a leader in the clubhouse at this point. I mean, Terrell Dodson is the first
I would
one
say
getting
probably
reps, but
Dodson.
again,
Yeah,
he's the vet in the room, so it's
right.
on some G, like he's gonna be the one that get them first snaps. But he's taking first team reps consistently. Terrell Bernard has been in there taking snaps. Balin Spector has been in there taking snaps, and
A little bit of AJ
it
Klein.
I feel like it. He's gonna he get a sprinkle, a splattering of snaps here or there.
Right.
But honestly, man, I think it's anybody's job to take right now. I don't even think there is a leader in the clubhouse.
No.
But Balin Spector has his stock has definitely risen
Right.
based on what he's done on the field so far, but also because like the praise that he's getting from his teammates is huge. Talking about how good of a command he has in the huddle and getting plays in and out and just his communication skills and his command of the defense and feel for the defense. Like, yo, that's big praise coming from, Jordan Poyer and other players that's giving him love. So like, that's a little bit of a dark horse right now.
Who, Balen Spector?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a feel good story, right? You get a guy who was a day 3 pick out of Clemson. Somebody who you wouldn't have thought of maybe 2 months ago to win that spot is really getting legitimate snaps, legitimate shot. I'm trying to root for Terrell Bernard for reasons because I feel like Bernard and Milano together would be nice to watch. Eventually, obviously, Dorian Williams and Milano for me in the future would be a nice combo to watch just because that's two physical hitters, two guys who can fly all over the football field. But if we're just talking about the start the season and for this year alone, I would really like to see Terrell Bernard make something happen, hopefully in preseason or whatever. But I do feel like Balin Spector's a nice story. Look at that. Got it. Damn fucking gnats in my house. But
It's,
nah.
it's like a never ending battle with you in these joints.
It's always some beef I got. But nah, and quite honestly, I do feel like Dotson has the early lead. And I only say early lead because it seems to be it's always about trust. So when
Mm-hmm.
they seem to want to, like, I was looking for it when I was there Sunday. I was trying to see, okay, who's first in the red zone period? Okay, Dotson. Who's first when they go 11-11 on this right now? Dotson. And it just could have been that it was Dotson's day. But I think out of the 5 or 6 days, Dotson has been the first one out half of those days. And like I said, it's just really a trust thing right now. I think is like, listen, right now we trying to fly through these plays, and Dotson, you know, the majority of what we trying to get done right now. So I'm gonna need you to come out here first. But I do feel like that would be a nice story if Spector was able to do enough. I do feel like he probably is your best bet at a downhill, like thumper middle linebacker type,
I
out of
don't know. I don't know,
the
bro, because he's out of all the linebackers that's there, he might be the most athletic out of the bunch.
You think so? I think that's Terrell Bernard. I ain't gonna hold you.
I don't know. Like if you going off like his RAS score, you know, that's a score that they use to, you know, rank the athleticism based on, you know, position
Right.
historically. Like he has a score that's like 9.3, 9.4. Like that's in the elite category. So like
Mm.
he has the athleticism and the skill set to, you know, be a premier player from a physical standpoint.
Okay.
Again, obviously there's a reason why he was drafted, you know, on day 3, but you know, athlete wise, I mean, he high on that list. So, and the
Okay.
thing is, him, Bernard, maybe eventually Dorian Williams, those are all rangy linebackers with good coverage abilities, good downhill ability as well. So, like, I think this position is going to look a little bit different than it did when Edmonds was in there.
Right.
So, like, they're looking for that rangy coverage ability, which is why, like, I don't necessarily think Dodson is going to end up in there because I don't think that's necessarily his forte.
Right.
But if I had to make a bet right now, who's going to start day 1, you know, he probably would be the one I would probably pencil in there right now if I had to throw a starter in there.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, Dotson is the safe choice right now.
Yeah.
For the reasons that we've kind of both mentioned. But I wouldn't be surprised, you know, to see, you know, one of those preseason games. I know we only got 3. Spectre gets a start. You know, maybe ahead of Bernard. Maybe he might be second in that race right now. But like I said, my choice, and like I said, this is just off of, you know, the excitement that I got from watching him play around the ball at Baylor, is Terrell Bernard.
Mhm.
But like I said,
I
I'm
think I
huh?
think if the Bills had their way, Bernard would be the one to up his game and take that position. I think that's best case scenario from a Bills coaching staff standpoint or point of
Right.
view.
Yeah, but
Uh,
we'll see though, man. I mean, it's one thing about training camp is that these guys, these coaches, they get a chance to spend um a lot of time with these guys, you know, going
yeah,
over film.
yeah, it's
Um,
more than just on the field stuff.
mhm.
I mean that's what we see on the regular is just the practice stuff, but they have stuff going on all day: film study, individual study with just the linebacker room, and so much stuff that's going on in prep work. So they see everything. So when they put someone in the starting position, it's not just solely based on that on field performance. I mean, if that was the case, Kaiir Elam would have been starting. But you know, it's everything in totality. Like all that stuff makes a difference.
And we can switch gears to that too. Cornerback position. How we liking that competition so far?
I mean, again, this is another spot where I think it's legitimately open competition. Right now, it feels like, you know, just based on the number of first team reps given out, you know, uh, looks like Dane right now has the slight edge, but you
Right.
know, at this point, it feels like it's probably down to him and Elam.
Yeah.
Looks like Benford's first team reps are kind of, you know, below those other two.
Right.
Like I feel like he's still in the mix, but right now I feel like it's a little bit of a two dog race.
Yeah.
Uh, I
I
kind of feel like it's Dane's job to lose at this point. Like I think Elam is going to have to really step his game up in order to take it from him. Because I mean, you know what you're going to get from Dane Jackson. It's going to be consistent. It's going to be steady. He's not going to wow you, but
yeah.
he's
I
going to
think
be
one, just to
okay.
throw something in on that, and I'll let you finish. Those who are looking at that battle should listen to what John Butler said, the defensive backs coach. He has some interesting things to say about both corners in that competition. He had a lot to say about Jackson and Elam, which makes me think that it's really a two-person competition. And he offered some insight on Benford, talking about how quick of a learner he is, how
Mhm.
you can tell him one thing and then he gonna make it happen right away, whatever. It lets me know they feel very strong about him being like that that backup to either cornerback spot. Like
Right.
that's the way he kind of talked about him, was like, we know we could put Benford in a pinch, you know, whether
Hmm.
it's backup Trey, whether it's the backup Elam, whatever. Dane and Kaiir, he ended up putting things a little bit more in perspective, but basically saying, hey, hands on, in your face, that's Kair's strength. You know, he's gonna mix it up with you. We feel like he's best, really, without saying it, in man to man, right? And he basically said Dane is our guy where he can keep his eyes everywhere on the field and kind of knows how to, make plays on what's in front of him, whether it's tackling. And I think he
Work
mentioned that.
that zone, leverage the
Right.
zone.
Right. And I think he mentioned how a couple years ago he was one of the best tackling corners in the league, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's what makes McDermott and the coaching staff really like what they have in Dane, is because they know come game time, you're gonna get sound tackling, you're gonna get sound zone coverage from him, and you're gonna get a guy who has now what 4 or 5 years of experience in the system. So that's what gives Dane the edge right now, like you said, where it's pretty much his job to lose, but it's also like we got this young first rounder who's hungry, who still trying to work on his eyes and making sure he trusts everything that they're doing within that defense, but he has the natural ability and the gift to
Right.
stick with a Garrett Wilson, to stick with a T Higgins and those guys. So it's a good problem to have, if you ask me. Yes, you would love to have a guy who you can flat out say, this is our number 2 corner. But when you sit in there and you got 3 guys who can be starters anywhere in the league, and like I said, I'm number 1 when it comes to slander and Dame, but I'm not going to sit here and deny that he's not an NFL starter, because he is. He's
Right.
starting on probably what 30 teams in this league. Like, I can't even front. He's a legit number 2 corner in the NFL. So when I shit on Dane sometimes, there's no disrespect. It's just I happen to like what I seen in Khair enough to be like, I
Happen to think he trash. Yeah, no, say how you feel,
listen,
man.
hey,
Let's not sugarcoat it, man.
it is what
Let's
it
stop
is.
outside.
Listen, it is what it is. But
Talking about he
but
a
he
legit number 2 corner. Nah,
oh, he
nah, he
is, but just
legit.
not on
Nah,
just
not hearing it.
just not on just I just have him
It's
behind.
not on your team. Okay, heard you.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, about 30
You
in
done
the
had
same.
Chris Watson back there or something.
Nah,
All
nah, nah.
right.
We're not doing Chris Watson. But
I hear you.
nah, but I, ideally, Khair runs away with this in preseason, but it's going to be they're going to bring it to the wire.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really feel like, even though Benford is like the third wheel right now, I feel like they know what they got in Benford, and that's a lovely thing to have. It's like we got this second rounder who was a day 3 pick, who we know can suit up every Sunday, and we know what we can get if we throw him out there. And like I said, Khair and Dane, hey, if you can get a starter name before September, I would love it. If
Yeah.
not,
Keep battling it out. You don't have to make a choice today.
right. If you got to go Levi Wallace and split reps at CB2, I'm a basically hate it, because it's gonna be like, damn, who gonna get that last drive of the game? Is it just gonna be
Right. I don't want to see that rotation because again, I want the players to get a chance to get into the groove and feel the game and
right?
get comfortable being in there as opposed to, switching every other drive, just rotating. Like,
Yeah,
no,
it's
listen, get your
annoying.
guy, find out who's the best for this defense and go with that. Because at the end of the day, man, I feel like Elam is the best fit just
Yeah,
because I think it gives them more flexibility. With
right,
his man-to-man skills, they can be more aggressive. Like it's this situation where they want to actually bring some pressure up front. And you can't sit back in there in that zone when you rushing 5, you rushing 6. You got to get in these receivers' face and they grill, got to get a little press action. So like having Elam in there gives them that ability to put that, and he has a bigger frame to man to man up if you're going up against a bigger receiver. You got to
right.
run up against George Pickens or something. So a T
Look,
Higgins, somebody with some size and some muscle to
look,
their
man, them
frame.
boys. Listen, the way the AFC set up at receiver,
Bro, you gonna have to shoot George Pickens to stop this dude.
yeah, he a handful. I seen what he did to Joey Porter today.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean that was a hell of a push off, but
it
that was a hell
was,
of
and
a play.
he would have got a taunt and penalty too.
Oh yeah, big time.
So he got to relax on that. But he's a gifted receiver, and there's so many in the AFC. We already know within our division, we got Garrett Wilson, we got Jalen Waddle, we got Tyreek Hill, Devontae Parker, if you want to throw him in there. And then if you
That's
look
another
across,
big body though.
right, and then if you want to look even across the other AFC guys, like you said, the guy in Pittsburgh,
Man, you ain't gonna put no respect on Miko Hardman. Come on, man.
I mean, yeah, me, Cole Harman.
No, I was just joking. I'm not.
Okay, I about to say you got Alan Lazard if you want to go that route, but
Nah,
nah, it's
you name the players you needed to name.
right, yeah, but nah, I'm still rooting for Kyer. Everybody know I'm part of the Elam fan club.
And
Same thing.
24 is just a amazing number to see on the field.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
saying.
24 with the sleeve. Nah, I
Yeah,
mean,
like
Iron.
24 on the football field looks amazing.
Yeah, and like I said, the guy made plays last year, so that's what has me ready to see him take that role. Is like I'm talking about a rookie corner who came in the Bills uniform and had 3 picks. I'll
Right.
take it. That's I'll take it. I'm not saying that's an all pro number, but to do that in a limited amount of time, if my rookie can get that playing half the snaps, if you give my man 100% of the snaps, what he would have had 5 or 6, you
Right,
know what
right,
I mean?
right.
So I look forward to that continued battle. Like I said, we're not talking about trash versus trash. We're talking about two good corners,
Agree.
three good corners, I should say, 3 good corners battling. At the middle linebacker is obviously different because there's some unproven players there with not as much experience. But this is what training camp and what preseason is all about, right? We talk about we don't want to see Allen, we don't want to see Diggs, but this is for the Terrell Bernards, this is for the Boogie Bashams, the AJ Epinesas, the
Dane Rays.
yeah, oh Shane Ray, he looked good the other day too. And you know what I mean? Like I said, we can't fit everything into this episode, but I had a guy in front of me was like, yo, who's this number 49? Who's this? Who that? And we looking at the
Who
back.
that light skinned dude rushing?
Yeah, who light skin? And I was telling him, oh yeah, old boy got drafted with Denver, won a ring with Vaughn, and was kind of trying to give my dad the backstory on him. But yeah, Shane Ray, looking good. I mean, it's just so hard because again, this Bills team that we kind of take for granted is so stacked. Like we sit there and we talk about Greg Rousseau, we talk about Leonard Floyd, we talk about Ed Oliver, we talk about Poona Ford, we talk about Tim Settle. Like we forget to talk about the Shane Rays. We forget to
Mm-hmm.
talk about the Taylor Raps, the fucking Cam
It's a ton of
Lewis's.
these. Yeah,
Yeah, the
ton.
Cam Lewis's, you know what I
The
mean?
Saran Mills. It's a
Duran
ton of
there.
players who are just.
And even going to the wide receivers, the Trent Sherfields and the Andy Isabella, who popped into the scene just a few days ago. So
Yeah,
like,
listen, bro. If he can find a spot on this team, that boy fast. You
yeah,
you find listen. You find a way to look, have him catch some punts or something.
right. And they
Get the
already
ball in his
they
hand.
already had him in the rotation when I was over there. They had him. I think that was his first practice with the Bills. They had him practicing.
Yeah,
On
that's his only. And I don't want to say his only route to the team, but that's his best route
yeah,
is to take one of them return positions. But
right,
if nothing else, that boy can run.
right. And
Like
I
he
think
got
that's what they.
special speed.
I think they asked Brandon Beat about the signing. He kind of mentioned that. He was like, yeah, he was like, we always looking at speed. We always
Special.
looking at speed.
Yeah, he got special speed, man. That
So
boy's
and he got
fast.
and he got hands. He was never known to drop the ball. So anytime you can give me a guy who's known for speed and he's not one of those guys who's just going to drop a ton of balls, we'll take a look. We'll take a look. But I know we closing down the last few minutes of our episode today.
Yeah.
Um,
Just wanted
anything?
to,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
last thing, yeah, this last quick topic. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this guard rotation
Okay.
because these last couple days, I mean, it looks like it's been pretty steady with Dawkins on left tackle, McGovern left guard, obviously Mitch Morris in the middle, Spencer Brown right tackle, but it's been flip flopping pretty good between Ryan Bates and rookie Osiris Torrance. But
Right.
Torrance has been getting, it seems like, more reps in that with that first team offense lately. So I'm interested to see, how this is gonna play out. But right now it kind of looked like a 2-man race to figure out, which one of them boys is gonna have that
Yeah.
starting spot.
And I'm actually interested to see that too. Especially being that we are, getting close to a week and a half away from the first preseason game. So like, I like the fact that the rookie is getting more first team snaps because if we look at our defensive line, what better way to get your rookie guard ready than to
And going up against these boys every day.
yeah, going against a Poona Ford, a Ed Oliver, DeQuan Jones, you know what I mean, a Tim Settle. So like I love it because it's giving him all the exposure he needs because come week 1, if he is going to really be considered a starter at the beginning of the year,
You know
he
what's on the other side of that line week
right.
one.
And I think if I'm kind of getting a vibe, I think they realize that it's like, yo, if we really gonna get this man a shot, we need to kind of baptize him now. Like we kind of need to get
Listen,
his
bro, it's gonna be a welcome to the league
yeah,
because you
because
about to
Quentin,
go
we
against
all know
top
Quentin
three,
Williams.
top
Quentin
three in the
Williams
league.
in that convo, right? He in that convo, bro. Like he going okay.
Aaron Donald, Chris Jones,
Yeah, he in
Quentin
that convo.
Williams,
And we know Aaron Donald's in a category of his own, but like when we talk about that next tier of top 5D tackles, Quentin
right in
Williams.
there, right in there,
So
100%.
from that standpoint, I think the Bills are looking at it like, okay, we know protecting Josh is number one. So if we're gonna really get his rookie a fair shot, let's equal out the snaps and let's see what we really got. And I think this is going to be a test for him because as we go into week 2 of training camp and we get ready for that first preseason games, I think what they're going to really start to do is analyze how he is going up against those first team tackles, because hey, over the next few days, if they feel like they're getting a little too much pressure, Ryan Bates, you'll come right back real quick. Come in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because again, thing is that he has that not many other people on that line has is this God-given size.
Right.
Like you are a massive human, so like if he can figure out his game and he can actually get some push in the run game and
Right.
hold his own, because he's more of a mauler going forward
Right.
than he is a drop back and be great in the pass game. Not saying he's bad at it or anything, but again, as a 6'6", 6'7" guy, 340, this is a move forward. So like having that physicality on that right side could be really nice if he can get that going. I mean, because again, once Spencer Brown plays a nasty game as well, and once he gets going, like all right, you might be able to have a little something on that right side.
But we know the D
So
line is a handful though, so it's a good test.
yeah, and again today, from the reports and stuff that I saw, the defensive line gave that O line all they can handle today. Hurt
Yeah.
Ed Oliver was just an animal and just destroying everybody he's going up against.
Which I love. Which I love
Oh,
because
I mean,
I
I want
feel
to hear that all day.
yeah, because that means that Oliver realizes what the moment is. And the moment is that here's your chance to prove that you're even better than your contract because he could even feel like he got lowballed. He can even feel like he had to take the best deal that was offered to him to stay here. But he could even feel like, man, I'm watching Quentin get this. I'm watching this dude get this. I'm watching this dude get that. And it's like, how can I put my name in the hat as one of the top 5D tackles? I can't. I got drafted to be one of the top tackles in the game, but
100%.
I only got paid to be a top 15 tackle. How can I be in that mix the next go round to be mentioned with those guys? And I think the motivation is there for him to have some good personal numbers, but I also think obviously he want to see the team be successful. But I think Ed Oliver might low key be motivated. Like this
Oh yeah, 100%.
yeah, the last few months, you know, the talk has been around D tackles around the league. This guy getting paid, this guy getting paid,
And them
and
boys are getting paid.
and even though he got paid, I'm pretty sure he like,
He got a check, but he ain't get
yeah,
that 24, 25 million that
right. And I
Dexter
think
Lawrence and
right,
Quinnen, and because I still gonna curious to see what Chris Jones ends up getting once he eventually gets his deal.
right. He's still sitting out, so more power to him.
That's definitely gonna be 20 plus for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think it's good, a good healthy competition at guard, but right now I don't say it's a lead on the rook, but it's definitely them giving the rookie a good look and
Yeah,
saying,
and I think and it's kind of weird that his versatility works against him, but the fact that Bates can play anywhere on that line from a team standpoint, it's like, shoot, we don't necessarily need you to start, but when someone goes down, because
"Hey, ready,
it's O line, someone's always going to go down. We can plug you in anywhere you need to be, anywhere across
big
this
spot."
line.
Yep. Yeah, really anywhere across the line, but definitely the 3 interior spots.
Yeah, for 100% those three for sure. But in the pinch, I mean, he's already shown it. They can pop him in over at right tackle. Like he's done that on his team already. So like they value that position flexibility. So it's kind of like, yeah, we can throw this young rookie in here who has the potential to be great and have you in this reserve role, but still be our swing everything. And look at it like this: Bobby Hart had mad snaps last year, so
Right.
swap that out. Throw Ryan Bates in when you do your heavy sets, your unbalanced lines,
Right.
and you can still get your snaps in and get your feet wet. So
You
like
got other veterans too. You got Dave Edwards in there. You got Tommy
so
Doyle.
many Questenberry's getting snaps, Edwards getting snaps.
You got so
Yeah,
many people, man.
yeah. Snell has been getting pretty much all the second team right tackle snaps.
I almost
Questenberry
forgot about him. Yeah, it's
strictly left tackle for that second team. Tommy Doyle looking like he definitely on the outside looking in right now. Same
yeah,
thing with Baker. Might be on the outside looking in.
yeah.
So
It's tough.
boys going it's a hell of a battle down there.
Like I said, that's why this team is so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I don't get the whole 9 wins and the
Yeah,
yeah.
that one caught me off guard because it's like, okay, granted, even if the Jets got better, Miami got better, there is no denying that. But you really think what the Bills did this offseason is worth a 4 game decrease? Like I just
5 game decrease. Well, really 5 because he got 8 losses and we had 3 really in the regular season.
right. So like I just don't see anything that would warrant that much of a decrease in wins. I'm just like, bro, I just don't see it. Even without my Bills cap, like you want
Right,
to say a loss or two difference, yeah, that's fair.
right.
They'll regress some, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But down to 9 wins, bro, nah, I don't see that.
But it's funny though. It's cool. Like I said, we're gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna keep looking at the positives. If there are negatives that come, obviously we'll discuss that. But I think all in all, I'll just give my quick 1 minute spill of my recap of week one. I'm pleased. We already said in the beginning, no major injuries, knock on wood. We keep that up. Allen looking good. Gabe Davis looking good. Diggs and Allen look great. Cooks look great. The defensive pressure is there. Um, and that's pretty much it. Like I ain't diving too much into stuff until these boys really get to, really hit somebody and play an opposing team. But yeah, I'm pleased week one. I mean, you can summarize your thoughts as well.
I'm with you wholeheartedly on that one. I'm just excited just to see this defense trying to get into form some more. I would love to see a decision made sooner rather than later at middle linebacker just to start to get that repetition going.
Right.
Granted, I probably feel like this is going to be the position that probably lasts the longest when it comes to making a decision, but I want that sooner rather than later because again, get this top 11 locked in, figure
Right.
out what that looks like, and then start hammering away at that. But just continue to see this team grow. Seeing Floyd out there, Rousseau is hearing good reports from them. Hopefully Tim said I think he was out today, but hopefully he can get back in there and you know he's been getting good reports as well.
Yep.
So just continue to get these good vibes out there. Josh keep clicking with these receivers. Cook keep running the way he's been running, and I'm happy. Like I'm very pleased at what I've saw so far. I'm also happy that the D line dominated the O line today. I
Yep.
want to see that,
Yeah.
and that I'm not worried about the O line per se, but I'm happy to hear that the D line without Von Miller is had a bit of a field day because that
That's the
means
key.
these boys getting after it.
Yep. Because let me tell you something right now. If Vaughn was out there, it'd be even worse.
Yeah. So this is what I want to see because again, that term iron sharpens iron. A day like this where the defense had their way with the O line, that's making the O line better. They're figuring
Yep.
out, hey, this is what happened. This is why they won that rep. I'm gonna see you tomorrow, or in this case, I'm gonna see you Thursday.
Yeah. And I'm all for it, man. So I'll end it by saying on my end, for those going out to the blue and red scrimmage, blue and white, whatever you want to call it, man, have fun.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
I'll be out there with the
red
gang.
and white.
You said what now?
No, I was trying to figure out is it blue and red? Is it red and white?
Blue and
I don't
red,
know.
red and blue, something. But it
Don't
should
matter.
be it should be fun, man. First chance to get back, like sitting down in the stadium, since February. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, those going to the preseason game. I know my older sister is, and my father, and I'm trying to think some other people I know going to that preseason game. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot coming up. It's a lot going on, but just take it all in, as we always say. Don't rush it. I know we kind of want to rush it, right? Because we're getting real close, but still enjoy this. Still enjoy this time period. We still getting 78 degrees, 83, 84, 80 degrees, and we know the insects can be annoying, right? I hate bugs, but let's enjoy this summer. But enjoy training camp, enjoy the battles, man. Enjoy watching the rookies, make one-handed catches, like I heard from Dalton Kincaid earlier today. And just take it all in, because we know the season gonna be here. But before we know it, we'll be talking about Monday Night Football. And we talking about First Take and what Stephen A. Smith is saying and why Stephen A. is wrong and why they not talking about the Bills and why everybody got the Jets. It don't matter, y'all. Just remember, it doesn't matter what they say. Let's enjoy the process. Let's enjoy these moments leading up to the regular season, because once it gets started, that's when the stress begins. Like that's when we yeah, I
Right.
mean, the Monday after a bad loss, the Tuesday after a bad loss. I'm not rushing that feeling, y'all. I love it, but I don't at the same time. So enjoy, enjoy. This the last month before the regular season. That's all I'm gonna say. We
It's the
get
calm
preseason
before the
football though.
storm.
Yeah, this is preseason football though, so we can all get hype about
Yeah,
that. We got
we
a
got
game.
we got a
We
Hall
got
of
a
Fame
game.
game in a couple
Yeah, we got a
days.
Hall of Fame game this week. Next week we already know is when everybody else gets it going. But yeah, this the last month before regular season football, and it won't stop until the middle of February. So, man, take it all in. If you don't normally get a chance to watch certain shows, watch them on now, because pretty soon it's gonna be 24/7 sports. I know that's how it is in my household. I fall asleep to sports when football come back. So yeah, man. Anything else did I forget to mention?
No, you done covered it all. We're gonna catch y'all next week. We back at it. We're gonna have some more practices to cover. We'll probably go around the league a little bit because we didn't get a chance to get to that today, but we'll go around the league a little bit next week. Go
Facts.
over these next couple training camp practices, maybe touch on this Hall of Fame game, see what
Yep.
that boy Zach Wilson looking like, since he's gonna
Zach.
be getting a ton of snaps. But
Yep.
either way, we're gonna catch y'all next week. So like we say every week, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate all the love and support, the comments, the messages, the DMs, the likes, the retweets, the shares. We appreciate all that. So keep them coming. Um, I got nothing else, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Um,
sir. Like he said, man, keep supporting, continue to listen, man. We got a lot more to do. This is our second season, obviously, recording. So we appreciate those who take the time to listen. We appreciate those who share our videos. And as always, man, we love y'all. Catch y'all next week, man.
it's your boy Z. Catch you next week.
Bell. Peace out.